What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CU4 YouTube channel. I just want to say a quick thank you very much for 1,100 subscribers. Absolutely incredible number. The channel's just growing and growing, and it's crazy, isn't it? Let's be serious. I'm very thankful, and I know you guys probably get bored of me saying it all the time, but your support means the absolute world, so thank you so much. But let's get into the Exeter preview then. Exeter vs Carlisle United, it's match day 26. Let's have a quick look at the opposition then in Exeter City. Now, Exeter, of course, have a bit of a history with Carlisle, with the playoffs and everything. They were founded, of course, in 1901. Their current manager is Gary Caldwell. Their stadium is St James's Park, which holds 8,219, which is basically a 700-mile journey, and it's 11 and a half hours. So, fair play anyone making that trip down. Nice little round of applause there. Generally unbelievable trip if you're making that down. They're one place above us, 3 points above us with 23 points. We sit in 22nd with 20 points. Their last 5 games was a league defeat against Reading of 3-2. A good result against Portsmouth there with a 0-0. A 1-0 win over Wickham. A 2-0 defeat to Cambridge. And a 1-1 draw at the Lamex Stadium. So 5 points from their previous 5 games with a -2 goal difference. They're not in the best of form, but they're not in the worst of form. That's a really good point against Portsmouth there, and a good win against Wickham. But obviously dropping points against Reading means Reading jumped out of the relegation zone, and Exeter fell into it. Looking at the head-to-head then, obviously the main one is we played them earlier this season in that 2-0 defeat. It was a pretty nothing game, really, wasn't it? Just they took their chances and we didn't, which was kind of the story of the first half of the season for Carlisle, in my opinion. And then obviously we had that League 2 playoff game where they had the likes of Ollie Watkins and stuff. That's ridiculous to think about. But yeah, that playoff game where they beat us. But we've only got one win in our last, how many games is 10 or so, so we don't have the best record against Exeter, to say the least. Fingers crossed we can turn our fortunes at the weekend against them. Looking at the ones to watch then now, I've been a bit controversial with the Exeter one to watch because I'm not actually sure if Damari Mitchell's fit or not. So if he's not, I apologise, but he's one of their best players for sure. And then I've got Sonny Cox there, the striker. For Carlisle, we've got Luke Armstrong. Of course, I imagine he'll be making his debut for Carlisle United against Exeter. He's been training with us for a few weeks now, and Paul Simpson is a big fan. And a shout out to Jack Robinson as well, because I think he's been absolutely excellent this season. His deliveries from corners and crosses have been fantastic. Moving into the midfield when needed to, going back into left back, absolutely brilliant. Looking at my starting 11 then versus Exeter. There we go. We went with that 5-back formation. Gabe Breeze in nets with a back three: Ben Barkley, John Mellish, Sam Lavelle, Jack Robinson, Josh Emmanuel. Hopefully the Josh Emmanuel that played against Port Vale, not the Josh Emmanuel who played against Wigan. And then we've got Taylor Charles, Owen Moxon, Jordan Gibson in the attacking midfield role. And then we've got Joe Garner with Luke Armstrong up front. Now, I actually think the partnership of Sean Maguire and Luke Armstrong will be a very interesting one to see. A big target man in Luke Armstrong with, a smaller centre-forward type player in Sean Maguire. But I've got Sean Maguire on the bench there with Dylan McGee, Corey Whelan, Jack Armour, Dan Butterworth and Alfie McCalmont. Now, I am aware that Carlisle have made a couple of signings since making this video originally, but I am only putting Luke Armstrong in the starting 11. I don't think the others will be starting straight away Thursday to Saturday. I might be mistaken, but for me, that's what I would go with. I think that's a pretty solid lineup. Anyway, looking at the matchday predictions then for matchday 26, it is a bit of a short one with the FA Cup and everything. There's not as many this week. So we've got Derby 3, Fleetwood 0. Bristol Rovers 1, Cambridge 1, Burton 1, Wickham 0, Leyton Orient 0, Blackpool 0. We've got Port Vale 0, Charlton 0, Lincoln, Shrewsbury and Stevenage against Reading both postponed. And then I went with Carlisle 1, Exeter 1. I think it's a very long trip, of course, for the lads to get down there and everything. And I just think Exeter at home will have the fan support behind them and everything. And I think they'll probably nick a goal because we haven't been that comfortable in defence, to be honest. But I think we've got a goal in us as well. And I think there's 2,000, there isn't 2,000. There's 250 Carlisle fans going down. So there's going to be a bit of atmosphere from them as well. Safe travels, by the way. But I think a 1-1 is probably a result which, depending on how the game goes, you would be happy with or you'd be disappointed with. But what's your predictions? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.